They remembered his body as broken, but his enemies feared his mind. Ivar the Boneless was not remembered as the strongest Viking warrior. He was remembered as one of the most feared minds of the Viking Age. His strange nickname has followed him for more than 1,000 years. Some later traditions connect it to a physical condition, while others treat it as part of the mystery around his legend. But whatever the name truly meant, the image that survived is clear. Ivar was not simply a man of the sword. He was a commander, a strategist, and a leader whose reputation reached deep into England. In the stories that followed the death of Ragnar Lothbrok, Ivar appears as one of the sons who carried revenge across the sea. But this was more than a family revenge tale. It became part of a larger storm moving toward the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. The Great Heathen Army came to England in the 9th century, and its arrival changed the balance of power in the Anglo-Saxon world. This was not a small raid by a few ships. It was a force large enough to frighten kingdoms, capture cities, break old alliances, and reshape the future of England. For the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, this was not only a military threat, it was a psychological one. The Northmen were no longer appearing only to burn, take silver, and vanish back into the sea. Now they came with armies, leaders, and purpose. And Ivar's name became linked with that storm. Later tradition remembers him as cold, intelligent, patient, and dangerous. The kind of leader who did not need to stand at the front of a shield wall to command fear. His power came from calculation, from timing, from knowing when to strike, where to move, and how to turn fear into a weapon before the battle even began. That is what makes Ivar different from the usual image of a Viking warrior. He was not remembered only for strength, speed, or rage. He was remembered for control, for strategy, for the ability to make enemies feel trapped before the first sword was raised. A warrior can terrify one man in front of him, but a strategist can terrify a kingdom before he ever arrives. That is the kind of fear attached to Ivar's legend. The sagas and chronicles do not always agree on the man behind the name. Some details are uncertain, some have become legend. Even the meaning of his nickname remains debated. But that uncertainty only makes Ivar more haunting. He challenged the idea of what a Viking leader had to be. Not just brute force, not just fury, but discipline, patience, and a mind sharp enough to make kingdoms tremble. Whether he was exactly as the legends describe or partly shaped by memory, his reputation survived for a reason. Ivar the Boneless became the image of a different kind of power. A leader whose body may have been limited, but whose influence moved armies. A man remembered not for what he could not do, but for what his enemies feared he could. Sometimes the most frightening leader is not the strongest man in the battle. It is the one who understands fear before anyone else does. So what made Ivar the Boneless truly dangerous? Was it the body remembered by legend? Or the mind that helped turn Viking revenge into a storm that changed England?